love you.
But they want to know, when are you dropping your OS?
Me? No.
Jack Doherty didn't just slip out of the spotlight, he didn't quietly fade away, and he definitely didn't choose a low-key exit. Let's keep it real and call it exactly what it looks like. This was a full-on eviction from internet reality. Messy, loud, and embarrassing in every way possible. This is one of those rare karmic freefalls that people can't stop watching because it feels earned and overdue. This is the same guy who built his entire online persona on intimidation, constant harassment, and flexing power over people who trusted him, especially women he treated like walking wallets instead of human beings. On top of that, he allegedly pushed shady crypto schemes onto young fans who didn't know better, flipping hype into fast cash while leaving others burned and confused. And now look at the setup today. That luxury mansion with a $30,000 monthly bill is gone. The McLaren fantasy vanished too. Instead, he's reportedly back under his mom's roof, scrambling for Instagram follows like someone chasing relevance that already packed its bags. And somehow, even with all this smoke, the legal system still hasn't slammed the door shut on him, which has people seriously questioning how that's even possible anymore. But here's the part that really flips the script. The money loss isn't even the darkest chapter yet. There are serious allegations about him running a digital manipulation setup through romantic partners, draining massive amounts from supporters in shockingly short time frames, and skating past consequences like nothing happened. The question nobody is yelling loud enough is simple but heavy. Why is this guy still walking free when so many red flags are stacked sky high? To really understand how this collapse happened, you have to dig into the rot that was baked in from day one. Spin the clock back to 2017 when Jack cracked a YouTube formula that worked numbers-wise but was toxic at its core. This wasn't clever content or creative energy, it was shock farming dressed up as entertainment. The strategy was blunt and ruthless: provoke people, disrespect boundaries, and turn humiliation into clicks. He didn't do real pranks because pranks have punchlines and consent. What he pushed was harassment disguised as content, pressure disguised as confidence, and chaos sold as clout.
So you and McKinley just broke up recently. Is that real, or
Yeah.
you down about it? You gotta be, because y'all spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, man, it sucked. You know, it's like we spent every day together for 2 years straight. It's hard to go from like being with someone every day to like zero. You know, it's just like it's a big shift.
What was the main root cause of that from your perspective?
I don't even want to like talk about it. You know, I feel like it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to sit on a podcast and just yap about it from my perspective, even though I don't know. It's already so much is so out there.
That approach pulled views fast, but it also planted the seeds for everything crashing down later. Each viral moment came with a cost, and eventually the bill showed up, loud, public, and impossible to dodge anymore. Jack wasn't just making edgy content, he was running full-on psychological warfare. He targeted minimum wage workers, strangers on the street, anyone who wouldn't suspect a thing, pushing them to the edge until they broke, filming every meltdown, and then turning that human chaos into cash. And let's be honest, the algorithm ate it up. Every outburst, every freak out, every public freak moment got clicks, views, and more money. By 2019, Jack was rolling in 6 figures a month, living proof that toxicity could be extremely profitable. But instead of learning anything, it warped him. Money didn't teach him responsibility, it hollowed him out. It showed teenage Jack Doherty a dangerous, twisted lesson. Hurt people, get rich. That became the blueprint. Mansions he couldn't actually afford? Check. Supercars on lease to sell a fake billionaire lifestyle? Check. The whole thing was smoke, mirrors, and illusion. But then the algorithm shifted. Harassment, prank content lost its punch, the platform stopped boosting it, and suddenly the money started evaporating. Most creators would pivot, try to reinvent themselves, maybe even clean up their act. Not Jack. He went darker. He didn't turn to wholesome content or just fade away. He started exploiting the people closest to him. That's when the narrative jumps from annoying YouTuber to predatory behavior. When ad revenue tanks, most people tighten up, but Jack launched a so-called talent management group. Sounds professional, right? Don't be fooled. Behind the flashy name, it allegedly operated like a content sweatshop. He went after young women barely 18 to 20 who had a small following but zero experience running a business. He sold them the dream: Easy money, fame, OnlyFans glory. Only the contracts? Chains in disguise. Allegedly, Jack kept 50 to 70% of their earnings, pocketing huge cuts while they did all the work. Think about that. Half to 2/3 of their income gone, all under his so-called guidance. And yet, somehow this abuse ran in plain sight, hidden behind slick branding and influencer hype.
And it's so twisted and stupid already. It's just like, I don't even care to like touch up on it anymore. I'll just leave it in the past, move on, and just like I don't know.
But I mean, I guess a lot of people probably wonder, like, are you hurt from a business perspective, or are you hurt like emotionally? Like that was something you actually
way
loved?
More emotionally than I am business wise. You know, it's like money comes and goes. Like I can make that money back like in like quick, you know, but it's just like it's more of like the time we spent together is like something I can't replace with like anyone else, you know?
Yeah.
It's like she was the only person I really saw like everything I've done the past 2 years. And I don't know, it's like been the craziest past 2 years of my life. So it's just like
Jack wasn't just a controlling boyfriend, he was allegedly taking the lion's share of the money his partners earned from their own content. McKinley Richardson, who dated Jack for 2 years, came forward and completely blew the lid off the whole operation. She described a manipulative system that's straight up terrifying, saying Jack pressured her into creating content that went against her values, using threats to send her back home if she didn't comply. That's not just controlling, it's exploitative on a serious level. What makes this even more shocking is that Jack Doherty now claims he's hurt emotionally, not financially. But anyone paying attention knows where his priorities always were. Money was the motive, and McKinley was his main cash generator. Every move, every threat, every bit of pressure she endured was tied to profit. The emotional angle he's selling now doesn't add up when you see the evidence. This wasn't about feelings, it was about controlling someone to keep the cash rolling in. And the more people hear her side, the more it looks like the reality of Jack Doherty isn't heartbreak, it's business at someone else's expense. Jack didn't just exploit women, he turned them into competitors against each other. If any of them failed to hit monthly revenue targets, he'd threaten to terminate their contracts, keeping them on edge constantly. It was a pressure cooker designed to make sure Jack stayed fat and rich while everyone else did all the heavy lifting. And he wasn't even subtle about it. He bragged about it publicly, going live and flexing that he was pulling in $500,000 a month off McKinley alone. He literally said, "I made her my business." Pause for a second and think about that. Does that sound like a relationship? Or does it sound more like pimping with a Wi-Fi connection? Drop your thoughts in the comments because honestly, the line here is razor thin. But McKinley wasn't about to let that play out forever. She got smart, secured her accounts, changed the passwords, and walked away with the entire operation in her hands. Just like that, Jack's $500,000 monthly cash flow disappeared overnight, leaving him scrambling. And that's when the real desperation kicked in. Gone were the girlfriend revenue streams, and the YouTube checks had dropped down to a measly $15,000 a month. But the bills didn't disappear. The mansion rent was still due, the Rolls-Royce payment was looming, the leases and lifestyle he had built on other people's work were still calling his name. So what does a morally bankrupt influencer do when his empire built on exploitation, manipulation, and smoke and mirror riches starts crumbling? And that's when the real desperation kicked in. Gone were the girlfriend revenue streams, and the YouTube checks had dropped down to a measly $15,000 a month. But the bills didn't disappear. The mansion rent was still due, the Rolls-Royce payment was looming, the leases and lifestyle he had built on other people's work were still calling his name. So what does a morally bankrupt influencer do when his empire built on exploitation, manipulation, and smoke and mirrors riches starts crumbling? You can almost feel the panic setting in. The same man who once lived like a billionaire is suddenly facing the reality of living like anyone else. And there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and nowhere to fake it anymore. Jack didn't just run scams behind closed doors, he went after his fans directly. After his influencer empire started collapsing, he pivoted to crypto, launching a meme coin on Solana and targeting his audience, which was mostly impressionable teenagers hungry for hype and clout. He promised sky-high returns, hyped to-the-moon gains, and turned his Discord into a full-on casino where kids were gambling their savings because Jack sold it like a guaranteed win. But of course...
And his mood, absolutely, my mood depended on his mood. If Jack was in a good mood, I would be in a good mood. If he was in a bad mood, he would make everyone around him in a bad mood. That's just how he operated. Even with employees, everything.
And wasn't. Within 48 hours, the rug pulled out from under them. Blockchain analysts later revealed that Jack and his inner circle allegedly dumped 87% of their holdings, crashing the coin's value by a staggering 96%. Jack reportedly walked away with $1.2 million, while his loyal fans were left reeling, collectively losing an estimated $2.8 million. He basically turned the trust of his followers into a personal ATM to fund his leased mansions and luxury cars. And think about this. If some Wall Street banker did the same thing, the SEC would be breaking down doors, lawsuits flying, and jail time guaranteed. But because it's an influencer with a flashy meme project, Jack is still free, walking away like it's just another day. Millions stolen, lives disrupted, and he moves on to the next scheme. How does that sit with you? That someone could take advantage of fans and slide away while everyone else deals with the fallout? But karma has a way of showing up. On October 15, 2024, Jack's arrogance finally collided with reality. He was behind the wheel of a McLaren streaming live on Kick in a torrential Miami downpour, texting and laughing at the camera. He was pushing nearly 80 miles per hour on slick streets, completely ignoring the danger. It was reckless, absurd, and dangerous, a literal perfect storm for disaster. The universe was setting up a moment that screamed, "This can't end well." And for Jack, the wall wasn't just metaphorical, it was fast, wet, and terrifyingly real. A wake-up call that even his money and hype couldn't shield him from the consequences of living without limits. Jack hydroplaned and slammed straight into a barrier. The McLaren was obliterated. But if you watch the footage closely, this isn't just a crash, it's the moment that shows who Jack D really is and why some people are calling him beyond redemption. His cameraman is bleeding from the head. Smoke is rising from the wreck. Metal is crumpled everywhere. And what is Jack doing? Is he checking if his friend is okay? Dialing 911? Trying to stop the bleeding? No, he is filming it all. He's reading live chat while his friend is groaning in pain next to him. He's asking viewers to smash the like button as if human life is just part of the background scenery. This wasn't shock. This wasn't panic. This was instinct. And his instinct? Content over people, clicks over care, views over value. The fallout was brutal, but in a different way. Kick finally banned him, instantly wiping out his $70,000 monthly streaming contract. Sponsors, including energy drinks and mobile games, cut ties immediately. Overnight, Jack lost nearly $1.8 million in deals. And to pile it on, State Farm denied his insurance claim, citing reckless endangerment while he was commercializing dangerous behavior. That means Jack is now personally responsible for a $300,000 car, medical bills for his injured friend, and legal fees he can't escape. The empire he built on hype and exploitation has collapsed. His supercars are being repossessed, the mansion rent is still due, and he's back living at his mom's house. But here's the part that makes blood boil. Why isn't Jack Doherty in jail? He filmed himself driving recklessly, endangering lives, and streaming it for views. Evidence online forever. He allegedly orchestrated a crypto pump-and-dump scheme that stole millions from his own fans. He has a long-documented history of harassment and exploitation. If you or I did a fraction of this, we'd be in handcuffs already. Yet Jack Doherty gets a ban from a platform, a slap on the wrist, and a warning, and that's it. No real punishment. By letting him walk free, law enforcement is sending a chilling message to every aspiring influencer. The rules don't apply to you if you have the followers, the blue checkmark, or the clout. Jack Doherty is living proof that fame and fortune can shield people from accountability, and that reality is both dangerous and terrifying. Jack Doherty's story isn't just a cautionary tale, it's a glaring example of how the system bends for fame. You can scam millions, endanger lives, exploit women, and wreck other people's lives, and as long as you have clout, a camera, and followers, you might not face real consequences. I want you to sound off in the comments right now. Do you think the legal system is failing by letting influencers like Jack Doherty slip through the cracks? Type yes if you think he belongs behind bars. Jack Doherty's empire was always built on the weakest foundation, quicksand. It was funded by harassment, propped up by exploitation, and ultimately destroyed by the one thing he couldn't fake: ego. He proved that you can rent the Lambo, buy the views, and craft a fake billionaire persona online, but you can't buy character. And when the money stops flowing, character is all that remains. Jack Doherty, he has none. He's not a victim of cancel culture. He's a man facing the long overdue consequences of a lifestyle he ran from for 7 years. If you got a kick out of watching this house of cards finally crumble, here's what you can do. Smash that like button, share this video so everyone sees the truth, and subscribe for more deep dives into the fake lives of influencers, the scams they run, and the chaos behind the cameras. Hit like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop, because we're just getting started exposing the truth.